pleasant good afternoon to you and welcome to Mobile, Alabama. Ladd-Peebles Stadium, the home of the South Alabama Jaguars. 1-0 to open their season as they take on the Bulldogs from Mississippi State. About 3.5 hours away, they are undefeated. Coming into this afternoon's action, a perfect 2-0. Wonderful setting for college football here this afternoon. They are expecting a sellout crowd. 40,000 on hand here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium for the first time in 46 years that an SEC school visits this venue. The Bulldogs have taken the field. The Jaguars getting set to go as well. A lot of talk about this game, especially here in Mobile, for when this was put on the schedule. Let's go down to the sideline. Bᴜʟʟᴅᴏ with the head coach of the Bulldogs, Dan Mullen.
Thanks, Mike. Coach Mullen, first road game of the year, playing a talented South Alabama team. Sold out Ladd-Peebles Stadium. What'd you tell your team in the locker room?
Well, we got to stick together. We're holding hands. All of us together are going to win. It's us against all of them together right here. So, you know, we got to do come out, play our game, execute at a high level, and win as a family.
Your quarterback, Dak Prescott, off to a great start. 9 touchdowns the first 2 games. We've seen the quarterback rotation with Damien Williams. Will we see that rotation again today? And if so, what's the advantage of that?
Well, it's just getting guys into the game, getting ready. We're going to go with Dak until we get a feel that we want to put Damien. So we don't have the set rotation. We're going to just go Dak today and see how he does. But if we're moving a little bit, we might get Damien some reps just to get him the flow of the game early.
Great. Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck. Back up to you, Mike.
Certainly something to be learned there. Last week it was Prescott and his backup Damien Williams alternating for the first 7 series of Mississippi State's win against UAB. Prescott, the junior out of Houghton, Louisiana, a threat to throw it and run it. They really like him, and these Jags fans really like Brandon Bridge as well. He takes the reins, a senior from Canada. He can run, he can throw, a product of the Canadian football game, a really strong arm, and they said they grade him about 70% from their win last week on the road at Kent State, going up 23-13, the victory. Joey Jones has helped to build this program, once a high school football coach, now 6 years in here with the Jaguars. They are in bowl eligible mode, a 6-win team last year. They were bowl eligible a season ago and looking to return to that again this year. And the Sun Belt Conference picked 3rd in the preseason coaches poll. South Alabama's program only founded in 2009. Now a full-fledged member of the Sun Belt Conference. 87 degrees here as we get set for kickoff. Perhaps more important is the humidity here in Mobile. It is hot, it is sticky, an 8-mile-an-hour wind. Partly cloudy overhead. South Alabama has won the toss. They defer. So Aleem Sunanan getting set to kick it away. Robert Johnson back deep for the Bulldogs. A long anticipated game here in Mobile, and here we go. Deep into the end zone and a touchback to start. Dak Prescott will take the field. They've been calling him a dark horse Heisman candidate. 30 of 51 on the season for Prescott, 59%, 8 touchdowns through the air, 1 on the ground as well. And it's going to be a tough job containing him today for South Alabama. So as Dan Mullen said just a moment ago, no quarterback rotation to start. Nick Griffin in the backfield with Prescott on 1st down and 10. Handoff goes to Griffin. He takes it through the middle from the 25. Pickup of about 6 on first down. And a well-exercised Rainey and goal.
Yeah.
Now back here in the booth.
I didn't have to work out in the hotel this morning, Mike. I just got it in. We see Nick Griffin there, big back, 6 foot, 226. Normally a lead blocker. That time getting a handoff and a good power play up the middle.
Set to spread it out on second down. Plenty of time for Prescott all over the middle and incomplete. As he looked for Jamion Lewis, the senior from Tylertown, Mississippi. Let's go back a little bit, Rainey. Dak Prescott last week with Damian Williams. They flip-flopped the first 7 series, and I think that was really the talk of this Mississippi State team. First 2 weeks, maybe a little bit preseason-like, and now back to the starting rotation, not rotation, with Prescott in until otherwise.
Yeah, and you got to get him ready for conference play. The gauntlet is coming in the SEC.
With Lewis in motion, they go out to the sideline, and the stop is made short of the first down marker. Lewis made the catch. 4th down coming up with Montrell Garner making the big hit.
Well, you said it. Watch this hit by Garner, all set up with the pressure on Prescott, making him release the ball quick into the flat. And Montrell Garner says, hello. That is how you bring the wood right there.
You know this is a very energized team here for South Alabama. We talked to one of their linebackers yesterday, Malik Harris. He said, look, we think that we can go up with just about anybody in the country. TJ Glover on the punt return, takes it across the 35. And nice starting field position for the University of South Alabama. And now Brandon Bridge, big guy, 6'5", 235 at quarterback, takes over here on their first drive.
Oh, really impressed with him, Mike. We talked to him yesterday. You know, when you talk to a guy, you get a sense of the confidence and the kind of person he is. Great young man. And let me tell you, every bit of 6'5", 6'6", big broad shoulders, and can make every single throw on the football field.
2 seasons for him at Alcorn State, was ineligible his first year here. They really like what he brings to this offense. Jay Jones with him in the backfield. A throw on first down and 10. It's in and out of the hands of the tight end, Wes Saxton.
Yeah, that's what Saxton has to hold on to. You know, first down, I love the play call. Fake the sweep to Jay Jones, and you see the athleticism there at Bridge to get out to his left, put a nice soft ball to his tight end. Just needs to catch it. You want positive plays on first down. When you're trying to upset a team like Mississippi State, positive plays on first down are huge.
Second down and 10 after the incompletion, with time out to the sideline, and the catch is made. Jeremy Jones hauls it in for a pickup of 6.
And right there shows you Brandon Bridges' arm strength. Sits in the pocket, very nice. He's very comfortable, poised quarterback, and just throws BBs. He can spin it, and you love that type of throw right there.
We talked to him yesterday. He goes, look, I grew up playing Canadian football. The field is wider. You have to have that arm strength.
And he said it's definitely been an advantage for him as he's come down here to the United States and played college football.
Now 3rd down. He can run it too. Escapes 1 tackle. He's across the 45 and very close to the first down marker. And they've got it. They complete it and convert on 3rd down.
Well, you see his athleticism. You're going to watch 50. And Derek McKinney, the linebacker right here, thinks he has him. Almost does, but no. Bridge gets away, athletic enough to turn that corner with speed and pick up a huge first down for South Alabama on 3rd down.
Not only speed, but strength for Bridge, getting away from the middle linebacker for Mississippi State. Pitch to the outside. Kendall Houston with not too much room to work with.
Yeah, and that play right there, Mike, studying South Alabama on film, that is their favorite play. They offset the running back to the left. You see Bridge with the pitch, but Bridge is reading the outside linebacker on that. If that outside linebacker goes to the running back, Bridge will keep that and run it. So that time it was on 22, Matthew Wells, the outside linebacker. That's who he's reading on that pitch play.
Second down and 10. Bridge looking deep down the middle of the field through double coverage and incomplete. Claude Garrett was there and it went right through his hands.
Well, almost a repeat of last week, Mike. That was Mississippi State's problem against UAB. They're letting receivers get down the field, and right here, the receiver splits the two safeties, and a nice ball by Bridge, and it should have been caught, and that should have been a huge play for South Alabama. That's a problem for Mississippi State. They're letting receivers get deep on them.
I was a big concern of defensive coordinator Jeff Collins for the Bulldogs after last week was the big play, and it was just a few of them. Third down at 10, plenty of pressure. Flag comes on the play as Bridge unloads. That pass incomplete. And we'll have to check what's going on in the backfield.
Yeah, it's going to be a hold. I could see it from up here. Defensive lineman for Mississippi State trying to roll off the block and just got grabbed. The umpire's all over it.
Holding on the offense, number 55. The penalties decline. Fourth down.
Matt Leffler, our referee today, and the penalty goes on the right tackle, Chris May, the junior out of Alabama.
It's unfortunate, you know, the first time we call a linesman, offensive lineman name, it's usually on a hold.
So Joey Jones' team does pick up a first down, their first time with the ball. And Jamoral Graham back deep to return. Sophomore Brandon McKee boots it away. Nicely done. And that goes inside the 20-yard line, where Dak Prescott and Mississippi State will take over when we come back to Mobile.
Tonight at 8 on ESPN.
Welcome back to the Yellowhammer State, Mobile, Alabama. Scoreless ball game. Just over 12 minutes to go here in the first quarter with Rini Ngolia, Mike Cousins. Glad to have you along. And Mississippi State gets set for its second drive of the afternoon. A first of the season on their first drive. They didn't score a touchdown, which they did in each of their first two games. And a whistle comes in pre-snap.
False start on the offense, number 63. 5 penalty, first down.
Dylan Day, the center, is dinged there with the penalty. Bulldogs going on the road for the first time this year.
Yeah, and this is when you really find out about your ball club. First one on the road, sold out crowd, student sections very loud, and so far, Mississippi State a little shaky.
Prescott dumps it off to the near sideline. And a nice pickup on first down going to the flat for Brandon Holloway, the sophomore from Tampa, Florida.
And the thing I like about Dak Prescott the most is he really knows how to spread the ball around to his skill players. That's just a little dump pass, swing route in the flat to Holloway, and a nice pickup on first down.
Prescott on the move and taken down across the 15-yard line. Jesse Kelly, the nose tackle, comes in to get him.
Yeah, watch 67 Jesse Kelly. The one thing I love about the defense, and he's right here, watch his hustle as he gets going here. Gets off the block. And one thing I noticed on film from South Alabama and those defensive linemen, they never quit. They all have motors and they run to the football.
Pocket collapsing on Prescott, and down he goes in the backfield. Ripping right through the middle. Theo Rich takes him down. Now a loss of 6.
Yeah, Rich 6'2", 260. This is just a dogfight up here. You would think the Mississippi State offensive line would have an advantage, but look at the fight from South Alabama as Rich gets through. And once you get through to Prescott, you better hold on to him because he's a big, strong quarterback, and that's exactly what Rich did there. And just a great start for South Alabama.
Devin Bell, the junior from Vicksburg, Mississippi, gets it away cleanly. High and short. And a bad bounce goes back inside the 35. This is going to be great field position for the Jaguars.
Yeah, I was going to say bad bounce, but depends. Bad bounce for Mississippi State. Great bounce for South Alabama.
I don't know if anybody on that Bulldog sideline would have thought the first 2 trips 3 and out.
Listen, the one thing about this South Alabama program, and it's a young program, they're in just great, very rich recruiting area here in the South. They got a lot of talent, a lot of speed on this team. So, you know, you don't get to play these big matchups often, and when you do, you try to make it, take advantage of them and for lack of a better word, shock the world, upset an SEC team. These kids are up to this task today.
After a 25-yard punt, Bridge on first down, gets a completion and then some. Down to the 15-yard line to his tight end, Wes Saxton. Pickup of 8.
Well, that time Saxton makes up for the drop he had to start the game. And let me tell you, a big tight end is a quarterback's best friend. Nice little sit route, curled it down, and a good 8-yard pickup on first down.
Screen pass, nowhere to go. Jeremy Jones quickly stopped by Tevez Calhoun.
And you saw how quick he got there to make the stop. On those quick bubble screens, if your fellow receiver does not get that initial block for you, the play will get blown up, and it's exactly what happened right there.
Robert Matthews, the offensive coordinator for South Alabama, said, look, we know our advantage does not lie in size along the offensive line. We've got to throw, we've got to be aggressive. They need 6 yards, and they do get that. That's good for a pickup of 7, finding Danny Woodson, the transfer from Alabama.
I mean, you just said it, Mike. They do not believe they can run on this defensive front of Mississippi State, but they can believe they can throw on it. You see the slant routes from the inside and the outside receiver there. Nice catch by Woodson, and again, Bridge putting the ball there on time.
Early on, a variety of formations. And now it's to the outside for Bridge. Nice first down scamper for 6. They've run the fake there with Jay Jones. Small guy, he's deceptive behind the line.
Yeah, and Woodson's going to throw a good block, 18. And just good speed by Bridge. Gets to that. Look at him lower his shoulders. I love that. Get behind the pads, big fella. Usually when you're 6'5", 6'6", you have a problem of running straight up. Not Brandon Bridge. He got low there behind his pads. I love that.
Looking for the fade into the end zone. Shavarez Smith. Out of bounds.
But you see the side judge and the back judge put their hand over their head saying it was uncatchable because a penalty flag was going to come out there if that ball stayed in bounds. Too much contact right there is pass interference. The only reason it's not called on number 2, Will Redmond, is because that ball was not catchable.
Smith last week, just 3 catches, but did haul in a touchdown in their win on the road at Kent State. Now third down, 2 yards to get. This will be close right at the sticks. Xavier Johnson getting the carry.
And that's the issue right there. Offensive coordinator Robert Matthews talked about. They just have a strong defensive front, does Mississippi State. It's just tough sledding in there, trying to pick up first down, especially running the ball.
Alim Sunanan is on to try for the kick. 31-yard try for the sophomore out of Orlando, Florida, which will give South Alabama the early lead. And his try is no good. 31 yards, no dice for the Jaguars. Mississippi State looks for the first score when we come back. Hopefully playing on January 12th at AT&T Stadium. Here we are, Ladd-Peebles Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. 7:48 to go first quarter, and a scoreless ball game between the University of South Alabama out of the Sun Belt and Mississippi State out of the SEC. 2 3 and out so far, Rini, for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I would expect to see some running game right here out of Mississippi State. Try to establish the run. You got the size advantage with that offensive line, big interior offensive line going about 6'5", 307. So let's see if they try to get a little run game going here.
Jamion Lewis goes in motion. Ashton Shumpert gets the carry. And with the wheels moving up to the 28-yard line for a gain of 8 on first down.
Yeah.
Third different series here for the Bulldogs. How do they try and change it up?
Just what I said, run the ball. You saw number 70, Justin Malone, the right guard, pull there, get out in front, nice block. Listen, they outweigh that defensive front of South Alabama by 40 pounds. You know, I think they're going to start pounding them a little bit, try to get the running game established.
Back to the run on second down. And maybe just enough for the first down. The carry of 2. Davin Hawkins comes up the middle.
And, you know, Mike, and once you get that run established a little bit, then South Alabama has to make a decision. Do they come load up the box a little bit? When they do that, Dak Prescott is so dangerous. You can roll him out. You can do a lot of things with him. So the running game really starts everything off.
Prescott on the option. Goes to the outside, Shumpert. There is a flag on the far sideline and a nice tackle there. Malik Harris, who led the team with 9 tackles last week, gets the stop.
Yeah, and if I was a running back coach, that's where I tell Shumpert, young man, catch the pitch
Offside
and just run.
on the defense, number 55. 5-yard penalty, first down.
But this is how you come up and make a tackle. Good job. Don't let the back get to the perimeter. Exactly what you want to do. By Malachi Harris there, number 6.
The penalty goes on to Marion Harper, the defensive tackle.
And the one thing we've noticed early on is South Alabama is not afraid of Mississippi State. I mean, they're not intimidated at all.
On the ground, trying to turn the corner, Jamion Lewis. Gobbled up, but it looks like he's got enough for the first down.
Yeah, and they used Lewis last week on a reverse as well. He's a good runner. But again, we talked about the South Alabama speed. You see how they strung that play out, did not let Lewis get to the perimeter, forced him to cut it back. And when you have to cut it back, that's where all the traffic's coming from the inside. So nice job by the South Alabama defense.
Prescott goes across the 45-yard line, met by Davin Hawkins. This pace of play that Mississippi State runs with as well. We talked to Malik Harris, one of the linebackers for South Alabama yesterday. He said, look, during the week, starting on Tuesday, we go first team versus first team. This speed is going to be nothing for us.
Oh, absolutely. And they're ready for anything Mississippi State does.
In the pocket to the near sideline. Catch is made. It's a first down, but a late flag after the reception by Darunya Wilson, a former Mississippi State basketball player.
Yeah, I like Wilson, big-bodied wide receiver, 6'5", 225. He's one of those wide receivers trapped in a tight end's body.
Pass interference on the offense, number 1. That's a 15-yard penalty. Repeat, second down.
Yeah, and those ones hurt, those offensive pass interference. You don't see them often, but they sting when it happens. And, you know, when you're a big body like Darunya Wilson, a lot of times you bang into a guy, that little DB that you're outweighing by about 40 pounds goes flying. Side judge sees it, and he's going to throw it. And Dan Mullen's not happy about it because it nullifies a big first down and backs you up 15.
And what has been the most successful drive of the afternoon for Mississippi State. Prescott with a design run has a hole. He's going to get him right back to near the original first down marker. Back across the 45 and pick up a 14 for the junior.
Yeah, and that's just an off tackle play without handing it to a back. You got a good quarterback in Dak Prescott. Watch him follow number 70, Justin Malone, 58, Justin Sr. Get up through that hole and a big pickup. Get it to third and manageable here.
Some push from the line, the ball tipped up, and the catch is made. Josh Robinson with room to run inside the 20-yard line, finally ripped out of the 15. Oh, what a salvaging of that play by the junior running back.
Did you see the block by number 6, Malcolm Johnson? Watch this come in on the left side of your screen. As Robinson goes, watch, you're going to see it right there. You see the tail end of it. Great job by Johnson. That's how you come back and you spring your backs.
39 yards on the catch and run. Now Prescott to the middle. The catch is made. And they're on the board. Malcolm Johnson with the tight end for the Bulldogs.
And fitting that Johnson gets the TD catch because he set up the long play with a great block previously.
They find a way to reward the big man, the senior captain from Tuscaloosa. Extra point is good, and it's a 7-0 lead on a drive not deterred by penalty. A 39-yard catch and run.
I'm a big Chip Kelly fan, and you know, he's got those Eagles playing some good football. He surprised a lot of people in the NFL last year. think they're going to have another solid year.
There's Malcolm Johnson, who hauled in the first score for Dan Mullen's squad. Chip Kelly, Dan Mullen, both raised in New Hampshire. Live free or die. That's right.
I knew
Thank
that.
you for filling in the blank.
I actually knew that one.
So a 7-0 advantage for Mississippi State. A couple of 3-and-outs on their first drive. Third time was the charm. And the Jaguars looking to get on the board. TJ Glover takes it for the Jags. 14 yards on the return. Chip Kelly there on the left at a Central High School. A young Dan Mullen at a Trinity High.
They should have, what the truck should have, they should have put those pictures up with no names and seen if we could guess who they are. Because, well, look how skinny, they're both skinny, but look at Chip Kelly.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Two great coaches, though.
Mullen, born outside of Philadelphia, but raised in New Hampshire.
Graduated from your Sinus College. Little Division III football outside Philly.
Brandon Bridge under pressure, unloads, catch is made, first down. They move the ball. As Jeremy Jones picks it up.
A nice route by Jones, just a deep out, and again, you can run that play because of the arm of Brandon Bridge, and if you give him time in the pocket, he can scan the field. So I would expect Mississippi State defensive coordinator Jeff Collins try to drum up some pressure here, get some pressure on Bridge. He's too comfortable in the pocket right now.
And pressure comes from the far side. Ball is loose on the ground. Bulldogs say they've got it. And they do. Good-sized Mississippi State contingent here with a nice roar after the turnover.
When we talked about a second ago, him comfortable in the pocket, that's what you do. Watch this collapse on him. You're going to see a blitz come from the outside. The pocket collapses, but now if you're Brandon Bridge, you better secure that ball in traffic. Watch, he has it out, and it gets slapped down and away, and an easy recovery by Mississippi State. But again, that happened because pressure came off the right side. Bridge stepped up, didn't feel comfortable in the pocket, did not secure the ball, and a nice defensive effort by Mississippi State.
Linebacker Richie Brown picks it up. Nowhere to go on first down and 10. As Malik Harris comes in, they say ball is loose. How about this?
Well, one play, they get it right back. And I'm going to tell you right now, as you see the running back, Shumpert, I believe, he had the ball in his right hand. First rule of thumb as a running back, when you're running towards the left sideline, you have to secure that ball in the left hand away from the defender. You see number 6 do a great job stripping that ball, Harris, but that's because the ball was to field side. You got to get that ball in the proper hand, with a good strip there by Harris, and just like that, crisis averted by South Alabama as they get the ball back.
Credit Jerome McClain for falling on it.
And they're going to take a look at this one, Mike. Let's take a look at it with them. Let's watch the knees. You don't see the ball there. You see it come out from another angle. But remember, you have to have indisputable video evidence from replay to reverse a call on the field. The call on the field was a fumble. Right there, there's not enough in that replay to show me that it'll overturn. So this one will be, it'll either stand, which means they didn't have enough video evidence either way, or if it's confirmed, the booth's going to say they clearly saw the ball come out before a knee or an elbow touched the ground.
So our referee, Matt Leffler, gets on the horn with replay official Bill Merritt.
And you know, I love to predict these, and I had a horrible week last week up in North Carolina, so
trying to get you some redemption.
Well, I think this play will stand as called on the field. I don't think they're going to overturn it.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. First down.
I knew there was nowhere to go but up for you.
Yeah, that's a 1 for 1. Let's do this. Although I think I got those calls right last week, Mike. I had a conversation with the replay official, but we'll let it go. It's all good.
So perhaps a harbinger of good things to come for this South Alabama offense after the defense quickly forces a turnover. Jay Jones, he's small, but he can move. And he's tripped up at the 38-yard line.
I love this guy. You know, they list him at 5'9", 195.
Everybody gets a couple inches on the chart, right?
He's every bit of 195. He is built. He's got that bowling ball type. But if he's 5'9", Mike, I'm as tall as you. And how tall are you?
I'm 6'4".
Exactly. But a good back. I love how he gets behind those big offensive linemen and gets positive yards.
If he's 5'9", I'm Robert Wadlow. Bridge all day. Far sideline wide open. First down to Jeremy Jones. He's still working. And they'll call him out at the 44-yard line. That's now 41 straight games with a catch for the senior from right here in Mobile.
And that is the hardest throw in football. Bridge is on the far right hash, and he throws a deep out across the field. He throws an absolute BB. And right now, Jeremy Jones is getting loose in that Mississippi State secondary.
Nobody was around him on that play. Bridge now taking his time, empties the backfield. Right over the middle. And a short pickup back to Wes Saxton. You go back to Jeremy Jones, though, where he gets open. He's got good speed. He's a little bit Wes Welker-esque as he crosses over the middle.
He is. He'll go in traffic and make catches. I think he's got a little better flat-out speed than Wes Welker. And that presents problems because the defensive secondary for Mississippi State has to respect that. A lot of times you get a big cushion. That's where you get open on those out patterns.
Empty backfield. Bulldogs bring pressure, and it pays off. Loss of 4 on the play. Nelson Adams gets the stop of Brandon Bridge.
And they dialed up pressure. 22 Matthew Wells from the outside linebacker position. He's going to come off the left side of the screen. Again, success out of the Mississippi State defense when they send pressure at Brandon Bridge. When they don't, he gets comfortable in the pocket. He scans the field, and his receivers are getting open. So I would venture to say Jeff Collins, defensive coordinator for Mississippi State, is going to continue to pressure Brandon Bridge.
Here's where the Jags need big yardage. Play clock is under 5. And that is almost intercepted. That would have been a nice play from Matt Wells. The linebacker got one hand on it and couldn't glue it to his hand.
And the thing that Wells did, it's outstanding there. He did not have a back lower underneath him in the flat to worry about. He kept getting deeper. They pinched the receiver, and Wells almost makes an exceptional interception there. But nonetheless, defends the play, knocks the ball away, and South Alabama will punt.
That's a stop where the Bulldogs made it a focal point. They gave up 548 yards in a win against UAB last week, but on 10 plays, they gave up 415 yards. He said their 5 biggest plays last week were bigger than the 5 biggest plays they gave up all of last year.
Mississippi State defense actually played well. 69 other plays, they only gave up 113 yards, and you just said it, 415 yards in 10 plays. Way too many receivers streaking down the field, stretching it vertically by UAB and big hookups. And we saw that earlier in this game where South Alabama almost had a connection on their first possession.
That was a drop pass. Touchdown last time down the field. Dan Mullen, not only the head coach, but also calls the plays here. 6th season for him after taking over for Sylvester Croom back in 2009. A lot of guys along the line of scrimmage. Now Prescott in the end zone lets it fly, and it's short. And they dialed it up there, almost had their man behind the goal line.
Well, and that time, Dak Prescott showing you his quarterback intelligence. He's got that internal clock in his head, and he knew pressure was coming. You kind of feel it from the left side, and he just throws the ball away as it's almost stripped from him, from Brigham, from behind, which would have been disastrous for Mississippi State.
False start on the offense, number 20. That's a half the distance. Second down.
Now you're thinking about defense here for South Alabama. You got them pinned back deep. What do you try and go with here?
Well, just like I want Mississippi State to go after them, I want South Alabama to be aggressive on defense, and they are. They like to run a lot of X stunts with their middle linebackers, Davin Hawkins and Harris, so we'll see.
Josh Robinson gets them out of that tight breathing room. And a nice pickup there to make it third down and very manageable. He gains 11.
And I like the call on second down. You don't try to get it all back. You get the penalty back in some with a good run off right tackle by Josh Robinson. And as you said, now you're at a manageable down distance. 3rd and 2 can open up the playbook. Look for maybe Prescott to roll out here, give him a run-pass capability.
And Prescott gets the carry and the first down with his size. 6'2", 230 pounds, and behind an offensive line that averages 307 pounds. That's not a tough run.
And we know Coach Dan Mullen has coached some great quarterbacks in his time. Tim Tebow, oh, by the way, wore number 15. Kind of looked Tim Tebow-esque there with the keeper off tackle, and Prescott has those type of abilities when he's a runner.
Mullen is leery of making direct comparisons to Tim Tebow. He also worked with Cam Newton while he was at Florida before going to Auburn. But you look at his,
a lot of great quarterbacks.
You look at Prescott's size, and the comparison is there. Stuffed the line of scrimmage. Theo Rich along the defensive line. NC State transfers there. Maybe one more play if they want to hustle here. They do want to move on a hot day here in Mobile. Prescott to the sideline. The diving try by Fred Brown. And they move the ball on that catch. Pickup of 8. And that is the end of the first quarter here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. Keeping it close. Mississippi State with a 7-0 lead on the road.
Touchdown Norwood. 3, 2, 1, bingo. The Bulldogs officially are the Western Division SEC champions.
For generations, the voice of Saturdays for Mississippi State was Jack Crystal, who passed away at age 88. 21 times the Mississippi Broadcaster of the Year and a member of the Mississippi Sports Hall of Fame, called nearly 650 football games for the Bulldogs. Passed away on Sunday. Gone, but certainly not forgotten in the minds of Bulldog fans.
And an absolute legend. We talked to Dan Mullen about him, and Mullen, being from New Hampshire, said Crystal reminded him of Johnny Most, the old voice of the Boston Celtics.
To the air, Jamion Lewis dodges the first wave of tacklers as Mississippi State moves the chains. With Bᴜʟʟᴅᴏ Fᴏᴏ, the UMass Hall of Famer, Mike Cousins. Thanks for being with us here this afternoon in Mobile.
And you see the nice pickup on 3rd down. It's going to be nullified with a holding call. Mississippi State will try to have to do it again on 3rd and long.
They're pushing this one back inside the 25. It'll be at the 23-yard line after a block in the back. 3rd down, about 13. Prescott looking for blockers. They flip the play to Jamion Lewis to the far side. He comes up just about a yard short. That looked like an identical play call there.
Well, it was a tunnel screen to the left side, and you like Jamion Lewis's speed there as he makes the catch. Watch the block, and this is a nice, safe play on 3rd down. You like to run screens and draws on 3rd down. Get it to your skill on a quick pass. If they break a couple tackles, they can pick up the first down. It's exactly what almost happened there. But South Alabama came up, stopped them short, and Dan Mullen cannot take any chances on his side of the field. He'll punt this one away.
So Devin Bell, last year was the field goal kicker, now exclusively the punter with a beautiful kick. And that goes into the end zone for a touchback. In front of a sellout crowd, South Alabama takes over on the other side.
New NFL season means a chance to up your game. Fantasy teams.
Seven 0 Bulldogs on a touchdown catch from Malcolm Johnson. South Alabama is set to take over on offense, and a couple missed plays could have had them in the lead.
When you want to upset a good team, you have to make these plays. This was the first possession. Rich showing his arm dropped by Claude Garrett there. Could have been 1st and goal. And then, of course, the missed field goal. When you get into the red zone, you want to score points. Got a little deflected. Caused it to go wide left.
Otherwise, looked like it would have been a nice kick for 𝐒𝐭𝐚𝐭𝐿. Joey Jones, he was pretty confident in his team when we talked to him yesterday. He said, yeah, it's a big one. We're bringing in an SEC school here. And for South Alabama, this is now just the 5th time where they're playing a Power 5 school, but the first time that one has come here. It's part of a 3-year series. 2 years ago, they went to Mississippi State. They're going to go there in 2016. So this is a big one for them.
Well, and you usually don't see big schools. I know you mentioned this, SEC schools particularly schedule road games early on in the season against a very talented South Alabama squad. And I love talking to the players of South Alabama yesterday. They said, look, no more victories. We want to win the game. We don't want to just play good and say, hey, we played good against an SEC school. We want to win, and that's the mentality you want out of your team, and you got to love that out of South Alabama.
After the punt, they started at 20. Jones trying to just get back to the line of scrimmage. Dropped for a loss of 2.
And just good pursuit by Mississippi State. Now, I know offensive coordinator Robert Matthews said they're going to have tough sledding running, and they are, but you still have to try it. You have to keep the Mississippi State defense honest. Try to get some type of running game, because if not, when Mississippi State dials up pressure, it makes Bridge uncomfortable in the pocket, and that's when bad things happen for South Alabama.
Bridge unleashes a dart, and that's going to get out to at least midfield. Room to run, and a big-time pickup for the Jaguars to Shavarez Smith.
And Smith just runs a post route there, beats the safety again. Only the 4 rushers for Mississippi State. No blitzes dialed up. And Smith gets loose right down the seam into the post. A good split. The throw split the 2 safeties by Bridge, and just like that, South Alabama's in business.
After the pickup of 42, back to the ground, and Jay Jones, the senior. They vary it well, and those are the big plays that Mississippi State wanted to avoid from last week. So far, they gave up the one we saw on the drop play by Garrett, and this time again for Smith.
Again, there's a soft spot in the seams in those post routes on that Mississippi State defense, and right now South Alabama is exploiting it.
Plenty of blockers and a short pickup. And Shavarez Smith once again.
And Bridge directing traffic there, telling Smith cut back out when he throws him the ball. Just a very intelligent quarterback in the pocket there. That, you know, Mississippi State runs a base 4-3 defense. Looks like they're going with a cover 2 safeties over the top, trying to change it up, give different looks to Brandon Bridge.
There's 3 down linemen and now an empty backfield. Houston goes in motion. And that is a first down for USA to Wes Saxton, an ever-reliable target for Brandon Bridge.
And Wes Saxton, 13, he's in the slot. Like I said, he's a big guy, a tight end, 6'4", 235. But it is an advantage because he can run like a wide receiver, so that is a mismatch against some of those smaller DBs that aren't as big as him. Or if you put a linebacker on him, he can run by him. So right now, you gotta love South Alabama offensive coordinator Robert Matthews. He's finding those mismatches, and he's going for them. And right now, Wes Saxton's been a big target.
He dropped it the first time they threw it to him today. 3 straight catches for him. Back to the middle. And another Jaguar first down. Cameron Broadnax with the catch.
And that's just a high-low. You have Sexton underneath. You see Broadnax just run the crossing route on top. The defender has to pick one or the other, and Bridge throws to the one that's not covered, and a nice catch by Bᴜʟʟᴅ, and it's 1st and goal for USA.
Opportunity to tie the game. They go on the handoff, trying to turn the corner. Not a lot of room for Smith as the Bulldogs defense sniffed it out.
Again, tough sledding with the athleticism of the Mississippi State defense. Tough to get to the perimeter on them. I think if you are going to run on them, and again, I know Coach Matthews said it's tough. Really, I think with a team that's big up front and their defensive front averages 281 pounds, I think you try to go right at them and challenge them. Haven't really seen that yet. South Alabama's tried to get on the perimeter, but no success. But they are very successful thus far in the passing game.
Through the middle with Bridge, who's got good size at 235. But like you talked about, that line able to close up the hole.
And I know people will watch the game at home and they'll say, man, they're having such success throwing the ball. Why go away from it? Why run? You have to keep good defenses honest. If you just sit back and say, I'm going to throw the ball 50 times, believe you, Mississippi State's good enough that they will read and react. They will get the blitzes that they have to get there, and they'll cause havoc. So you got to keep them honest. That's why you see South Alabama still trying to run the ball.
Plenty of options. Smith has been big on this drive. Saxton in the slot, good all afternoon. To the far sideline, incomplete. Wanted Jeremy Jones, and he had to get rid of the ball.
And that time, Rich takes a shot, and it was kind of one of those low hits. Remember, there's a new rule this year. If you hit the quarterback low, it could be a penalty. But as we take a look at the big tight end, Wes Sexton, you see the matchup difference there. Problem is, Mississippi State dialed up some pressure. Bridge got hit as he released and went to the other side of the field. Really, he didn't have an opportunity to come back left to look at Saxton.
Soonanon's first try was tipped. This one from 26. And a clean kick makes it 7-3. So the drive stalls late, but South Alabama does get on the board. 9:30 to go until the break here in Mobile.
Imagine no possessions.
Second quarter in Mobile with Rainey and Golia, Mike Cousins, and a 7-3 advantage for the Bulldogs over the Jaguars. There's got to be a picnic basket around here somewhere. Looks like a bear. It's a Jaguar, but it looks like a descendant of Yogi Bear.
And it's a female Jaguar at that, I take it, with a ribbon.
And a friendly one. But a nice drive there for the Jaguars as they go down the field. If they're able to get Wes Saxton over the middle, maybe a touchdown, but still a 4-point game.
Again, positive plays out of South Alabama. Get points when you get in the red zone, very important. And believe me, they came to play today. They're up to the challenge.
Aleem Soonannon puts it in the air. Jamion Lewis is back deep. And it's taken at the 20-yard line by Mississippi State. Gain of 8 on the return by Robert Johnson, the up man. And now this is where, on a hot day against a fast-paced offense, South Alabama's defense is going to get a good test.
Well, and you see the temperature there, 87 degrees. As you know, I was on the field at kickoff. Much hotter down there.
It's very deceptive.
With the field turf, it's very hot. It comes off. So a great point, Mike. You know, as this game progresses, you know, which team's in better shape? Who's got the better conditioned team that can withstand this heat and humidity and go 4 quarters?
Prescott throws, and that ball is incomplete. That was nearly intercepted by Montel Garner, the senior at cornerback.
Well, you hear announcers say jumping a route. That's what Garner does here. He jumps the route. He reads it perfectly and should have picked it off. But, boy, again, talking about the speed of South Alabama, they can play with these guys in the SEC, no doubt.
Prescott with the run. Gain of 5 for the junior quarterback.
And the other thing, programs like South Alabama down here, as I said, in good recruiting land, a lot of these players got passed over by the bigger schools from the SEC. So they're playing with chips on their shoulders when they get in these games. And I always tell people there's nothing more dangerous than a good player, a good team that has a chip on their shoulder.
Two of the wide receivers for the Jaguars are Alabama transfers. Big play here for the defense. Prescott with the ball in his hands. And a first down for the Bulldogs. Out across to the 40-yard line. You talked right before kickoff with Dan Mullen, the head coach of Mississippi State. He said, you know what, we're not going with the quarterback rotation. If you haven't followed the Bulldogs this year, they went back and forth, Prescott, Damian Williams. It only makes sense to keep your best quarterback on the field.
Yeah, I think when you pull him off, he can kind of get cold, especially if he's doing well into a flow. We've seen it, a lot of teams do it. They'll pull off their starter. Next guy comes in, and then that starter doesn't get back for a couple series, and he's just not back in the rhythm. So I like sticking with one guy.
Down the sideline, a flag, and the catch is made. It's going to go against the defense as he finds Fred Brown for the big pickup.
Yeah, it was Montel Gardner actually tried to hit Brown, slow him up. Brown strong enough to run right through him and make the catch anyway.
On the defense, that penalty is declined. Result of the play is a first down.
You'll see here, Garner, 16, right side of your screen. He knows he's beat. He tries to slow Brown down. He can't. The safety, Buchanan, cannot get over the top fast enough. And a nice pickup from Prescott to Brown.
36 yards, puts the ball at the 29-yard line. A first down and 10. To the ground with Josh Robinson, the junior from Franklinton, Louisiana.
Yeah, and I would expect them to try to get Josh Robinson going a little bit. Had a career best 20 carries, 124 yards last week against UAB. He's the type of guy, 5'9", 215, good power, can bounce. It's got good quicks. I think they're going to try to get him going a little bit in this game.
Pressure coming from the backside, and Prescott threads the needle down to the 5-yard line. And Gabe Miles.
Watch this hit by the safety right there. That's how you come up. It was a clean hit by Buchanan. Exactly what you want to do. Separate man from ball. He had it. Buchanan came in and dislodged it. Very nice play, clean hit, and powerful.
Pocket collapses. Prescott takes off. Flag flies. He's down at the 4. As he was going down, he was hit there. No flag comes near the goal line, but there is one on the turf at the 25-yard line, which might be holding.
Yeah, it should be a holding. They'll nullify that, but I thought I was going to see another flag come in because as Prescott went to really a horrible slide, looked like he got hit up high, which could have been another 15, and they didn't call it. So we'll see what the original call is.
Less of a slide inside the 5, more of like he tried to cover up and fall down.
He was in no man's land. He wasn't sure what he wanted to do.
Personal foul, hands in the face on the defense, 93. First down.
Well, that hands to the face by McLean. Remember, this is we'll take a look at the end of the play here. Prescott, he just doesn't know if he wants to slide or put his shoulder down. Definitely contact up top, and a flag should have been thrown on Devin Hawkins, and I definitely think it could have been targeting.
Helmet to helmet right there.
Absolutely.
Bulldogs go big here on a 1st and goal. Robinson gets the carry over the top and into the end zone. Flag down, though, from the far sideline. Hold on with the celebration.
Offside on the defense, number 52. That penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Celebrate away.
Yeah, and watch Robinson 13. Watch how he goes over the top. Back in my day, and a long time ago, we used to do that a lot. You saw backs all the time go over the top. Not as much anymore. It's nostalgic. I love it when I see a back go over the top like that for the score. Get in the end zone.
Evan Sobiesk, the sophomore from Hattiesburg, Mississippi, with the extra point.
And you see it here. Josh Robinson smelled the goal line, is what I like to say. Bulldogs lead it 14-3 in Mobile.
Josh Robinson with a gymnastics-like touchdown to make it 14-3 in favor of Mississippi State. 7 minutes to go here in the second quarter, back at Ladd-Peebles Stadium in Mobile, Alabama. Getting set to kick it away, and the Jaguars will go back on offense here. They've had some good drives, Reed. They've just got to turn one into a touchdown.
Well, you're right. You got to finish off drives. It's one thing to get yardage between the 20s, but when you get down in the red zone, you need that payoff. You need that touchdown. At the very least, 3 points. They got 3 on one drive, missed on another. But you're right, Mike. Got to get it in the end zone. You got to get 6.
Second time these two schools have ever squared off. They'll play again in 2016. Last they played September 22nd in 2012 at Davis Wade Stadium in Starkville. And the Bulldogs won 30-10 after going up 20-0 at halftime. Terrence Timmons, the junior, hangs on to it. First down coming up for USA. College football on ABC continues tonight. Butch Jones and the Volunteers look for the upset on the road against senior quarterback Trevor Knight and the number 4 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. First ever regular season meeting between these two teams. They played the 1968 Orange Bowl, Sooners by 2. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Tennessee and Oklahoma, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC.
Don't sleep on Tennessee and Butch Jones. He's been doing a masterful job of recruiting. Starting to bring Tennessee back to what we're used to. Would not be shocked at all if the Vols knocked off and upset Oklahoma.
Going to be a young team, but a big win for them. Senior Brandon Bridge on first down with pressure to the near sideline. Completion there, out ahead to Danny Woodson. His season limited last year to only 8 games because of an injury. Alabama transfer. His dad played there as well at quarterback.
An important series here for South Alabama. Trying to move it down the field, get a touchdown, get a field, get a score before half. Just, you're in the game, obviously, but some momentum going into halftime would be great.
Brandon Bridge, big guy, didn't have the hops he needed there to get over Beniquez Brown, the linebacker.
Well, he almost did. Watch Bridge. This is 6'6". Whoop, going up. I tell you, he just got caught that left heel on Brown, or he would have hurdled him. And Brown's not a little guy, 6'1", 235. There's about 6 NFL teams, NFL scouts here, and Brandon Bridge has showed him some athleticism.
Said he certainly hopes to play in the NFL one day. To the air, one-on-one down the sideline, and in and out of the hands of Woodson.
I like that throw, though. That's that back shoulder throw as the receiver streaking down the end zone. It's almost impossible for that DB to defend that play. Almost hooks up. And Bridge shows you the quickness of his throw on his release. They just can't hook up there. But just like that, it looks like they're going to be 3 and out.
And it's going to make it tough now for this Jaguars defense, which was just out on the field. And it's going to have to come back out. Temperature in the high 80s today. And the humidity makes it feel even hotter than that. Near midfield, the Bulldogs take over with the 11-point advantage. Mississippi State with the lead and the ball here. First down and 10 as they set up shop just to the other side of midfield. Jamion Lewis takes that for Bulldogs first down. as he runs right over Montel Gardner out of bounds.
And I like the block in there from 16. Joe Morrow out in front again. Love it when wide receivers block for other wide receivers. That's what springs big plays, and a nice job there.
Prescott gives it away to Holloway. Short gain as the linebacking core runs him down to the far sideline. How do you feel like right now this Jaguars defense is feeling, having been out on the field for quite a long time? Offense just went 3 and out.
Yeah, they're playing good. Only down 14-3. They're really hanging in there. They're running. But I like what Dan Mullen did there. We saw a play to the right side, then he goes left. He's using the whole field. He's making his team run.
And nearly intercepted. They try and get the quick pass. Terrell Brigham jumps right in front of the senior, nearly took it away.
Well, and good job by Brigham, but we talked about, you got to make those plays if you want to upset this team. When you undercut a route like this, make that big pick. And it'd be even better if you can take it to the house, but just the interception itself would be great. Making the breaks, they just got to make the plays.
Brigham, the only guy on this roster who played Mississippi State as a Jaguar 2 years ago. Not yet in field goal range. A stop here big for South Alabama. Now Prescott's on the run. He's looking upfield. He's taking off. He's got the first down and goes at the 25-yard line. They pushed him out of the pocket, but he scampered for 16.
And that's the danger with Dak Prescott. You just can't do anything. The pocket's going to collapse. He slides to the right. He still has his head up. He's still a passer, but all green grass in front of him. And he just takes off and picks up a big first down on 3rd and long.
With 4 receivers out, they pitch it back to Prescott. Now he's on the move with a legion of blockers in front, and Prescott is in for the score from 24 yards out.
And we've seen this before. Dak Prescott has caught touchdown passes before. The key to this play initially is Prescott throwing the first pass, making sure it's a lateral. Once it's a lateral, he's free to go downfield and catch a pass. And boy, he had a litany of big offensive linemen out in front of him on his way to the end zone.
Sobiesk nails the kick. It's 21-3 after some trickery.
Watch this here. He's going to get the snap, pass it to the receiver, I believe, Jamion Lewis, who will then throw it back down as releases. Look at the blockers out in front. Definitely a lateral. Good blocking. Watch how the receiver, Lewis, steps up to avoid being tackled. Prescott releases down the sideline, gets all those big hoggies out in front of him. That's a good convoy on the way to the end zone. Well executed play by Mississippi State.
He's out of breath. He's got to take the headset off for a second there.
And sit by the fan. They got the mist down there, the misty fan. Dan Mullen breaking a smile. He likes it. Well executed play. But really what made it, receiver Lewis makes the catch as a lateral, had some pressure, actually slid up to get away to avoid it, and puts a nice throw back to Prescott. Offensive lineman get out in front. I mean, you really can't draw that up any better.
And Prescott just continues the long line of talented quarterbacks that Mullen has worked with, going back to Alex Smith at Utah, Tim Tebow in Florida. Cam Newton was there as well during his time with the Gators from 05 to 08. So Prescott does just a little bit of everything.
Now, he leads all the current SEC quarterbacks with 18 career rushing touchdowns. He's probably leads them in touchdowns receiving as well.
Couple under his belt. I know his next closest competition is Bo Wallace, but I'm not sure that Dr. Bo has any receiving touchdowns.
I don't know either. As you said, I know Prescott's had a few, and it's pretty impressive.
Alabama from their own 25-yard line.
And they're already very high on Prescott, now just in his junior year after an Egg Bowl victory last year. Hadn't practiced for a couple weeks. Came back in and led them to a victory. So now 21-3, 4:27. Plenty of time to move the ball down the field for Brandon Bridge in South Alabama. They can get this to 21-10 at half. They got to be happy with that.
You need to get some positive momentum. You've played really well in this first half. You need something very positive to go into halftime and regroup.
Bridge is intercepted. Try to go one-on-one. It's taken away by Will Redmond, who read his eyes perfectly.
Yeah, and, you know, I hate to be Captain Obvious, just killer for South Alabama. You just can't throw a pick there if you're Brandon Bridge. Now you give it back to Mississippi State. I mean, he just threw it right to the DB, who made a nice job catching it, Will Redmond. But now you're going to give it back to Mississippi State, you know, just outside the red zone, the 32-yard line with 4 minutes and change left. And all of a sudden, a game that you were in, you might not be in by the time halftime rolls around.
Well, we're not going to call you captain. We're going to call you what you are, detective.
Detective Obvious.
Still 4:20 on the clock and 32 yards to the goal line for the Bulldogs. Prescott wants something deep, one-on-one. And that ball falls to the turf as he targeted Jamion Lewis, who's quickly becoming a favorite of his today.
And good defense once again by South Alabama. I mean, their DBs are running with Mississippi State. That time it was Garrett 14 as they try to slide Lewis into the post. But look how he undercuts it, gets that right arm out and knocks the play off. Nice job by the defensive secondary, South Alabama.
He's on the off-tackle run for Prescott. First down and more as he bulls his way inside the 20-yard line. Gain of 15 for the dual-threat quarterback.
And just an off-tackle play with 6'2", 230-pound Dak Prescott. I like how he lowers his shoulder, and he was punishing the defenders on that run.
Prescott last year ran for 829 yards. They give him space again, and he doesn't get very far. Jimmy Gibson, off the end of that defensive line, picks him up.
Yeah, Gibson did a good job holding on. That's just a little zone read by Prescott. Thought he could take it out the right side, but Gibson does a nice job making the tackle. And with 3:19 in the clock running, you know, Dan Mullen, they're not in a hurry here. Yeah, they're not huddling, but they're going to let the play clock run down. I would expect maybe a run play here, really just keep this clock churning.
Pitch goes to Robinson, down to the 10 with space, and he's in for the touchdown from 15 yards out. Second time he's in on the ground this afternoon.
And just an option to the left. Good block by the tight end, Malcolm Johnson. And right now, this Mississippi State offense is rolling. We're going to take a look at it here. Prescott takes the snap, comes down the line to the left, options it off the defensive end, Theo Rich. Robinson does a good job, and I love it when he gets inside the 5. Lower those pads and get in the end zone. Not denied.
Scoring drive that took all of 82 seconds for the Bulldogs. Now up by 25, closing in on halftime. ESPN brings you college football primetime, presented by Hampton Hotels. Cody Kessler and number 9 USC will against Steve Addazio in Boston College in a cross-country matchup. First time that SC has played at Boston College in 26 years. That's USC and Boston College tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Also available live on Watch ESPN.
Yeah, I mean, Steve Addazio is starting to turn Boston College around a little bit. He's a defensive-minded coach. Unfortunately, I think Steve Sarkisian and USC are going to have a little bit too much for BC to handle.
That'll be a nice tribute in that game, too. Boston College is going to wear shoes, socks, gloves, and helmets with a red bandana design in honor of Wells Crowther, who played lacrosse at Boston College, saved many lives on September 11th before he lost his own. But that's a great tribute for the Eagles.
And they keep it alive. They keep doing that every year, and you love to see that.
Great piece that aired this week on SportsCenter. Man in the red bandana. (28-3) here in Mobile. As for the first time in 46 years, an SEC school plays here at Ladd-Peebles Stadium. Devin Bell fighting some wind. I haven't felt any today, but it got knocked off the tee.
There's none in this press box, I can tell you that, but the flag is moving out there.
It's Terrence Timmons and T.J. Glover back deep. And this is Glover taking it out of the end zone. Up the corner and out just shy of the 25-yard line. 1st and 10 for South Alabama. If they can move here, their last drive of the half, what would you say they need to do here to call it a successful drive?
Well, put points on the board. I mean, at this point, even if it's a field goal, you need something positive to get into the locker room. I mean, it's 28-3, but the game feels much closer than that. I mean, South Alabama really has not played that bad. Something on the board positive. You see they're going to spread it out with 4 wides. Look at them to try to hit something down the seam route and go vertical, because that's where Mississippi State has been beaten.
Only a 3-man rush, and Bridge attacks the middle of the field. Moving to Wes Saxton, his tight end. That's a 1st down, so the clock momentarily stops as they move the chains.
And I think that's where they'll have their best success. 4 wides, go vertical, send the tight end over the middle, try to get that mismatch, and to see if you can sneak a receiver past one of the safeties and maybe hit a home run.
They were disappointed they didn't get any catches from Saxton last week. Didn't really target him. Now Bridge unloads deep downfield. Incomplete at the 20-yard line. Javares Smith got his hands on the ball.
Well, there's the home run, Mike, and we've said it. We're going to sound like a broken record. You have to make these big plays. This one looked catchable by Smith, and it is. I mean, that goes right through his arms. Brandon Bridge cannot run the ball out there and set it any better. You just have to make plays for your quarterback. That's the home run they needed. Would have got this crowd excited, but it goes down as a drop.
Early in the game, Bridge went downfield, found Claude Garrett inside the 10-yard line of Mississippi State. Garrett dropped that ball as well. 2nd down, a couple of options. He doesn't like any of them and throws it away.
And a smart decision. He's outside the tackle box, throws it away, make sure he gets it past the line of scrimmage. But the problem is now you have that big drop, which would have set you up inside the red zone. Now you're 3rd and 10. You pass it here and it's incomplete. You're going to give the ball back to Mississippi State with 2 minutes left.
Plenty of time, so 3 timeouts.
So it doesn't even really matter if you're South Alabama if you try to run here, because Dan Mullen will burn a timeout. That's not a problem. So you got to try to pass this thing down the field and try to pick up this 1st down.
So they do, not exactly how they wanted, keep the ball on the ground. And a very late flag comes in.
When I think we might have taunting, we'll see. The referee's looking at someone from Mississippi State as they're running off the field.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct on the defense, number 96. That's a 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Yeah, and it's Chris Jones. Let's take a look at him and see if we can see what happens. Good sack, the pocket collapse. Jones gets the sack. Now, the one thing you don't want to do is root it with a stupid penalty. Doing a little dance and a salute. So when you do anything that draws attention to yourself above and beyond a normal celebration, the official's going to flag you. So, and you look at Dan Mullen, they're coaching him up exactly what we want to do. He's saying, hey, big fella, you made the sack, you made a nice play. There's no need for it. We know, everyone knows you made the sack. Nullifies his good sack and gives South Alabama 1st down.
A very talented sophomore. That carry for Terrence Timmons. The junior running back does move the ball across midfield. The clock continues to move. $1:35, and both teams still with all 3 timeouts. Bridge, 4 wide receivers, and it's almost taken away once again. One to the outside, Matt Wells has been around the ball all day.
Yeah, and the one thing I would tell Brandon Bridge is sometimes you got to be careful. If If you stay to one side and you lock in on one receiver, that's when you get in trouble. That's when the linebackers are reading your eyes. We saw a nice job right there by Wells come underneath to knock that down. Very important to come off your first receiver and scan the field. Do not give those defensive backs and linebackers a chance to undercut those routes.
So they face another third down. Last time it was Bridge going down, and this time it's another incomplete pass. Shavarez Smith dropped the big one earlier on this drive, and that one hits him in the chest.
Well, and that's another one Smith has to catch. Listen, Brandon Bridge puts this low and away. This is what you want to do. Throw the fastball down low. Your receiver has to go down and make that catch to keep the drive alive. Move those chains. And right now, Brandon Bridge's receivers are letting him down.
Drops have been a crucial part of the Jaguars not securing a touchdown here in the first half. Jamoral Graham lets that bounce. And over toward the Bulldogs sideline. They've got 1:05 before halftime.
And with a 28-3 lead, Mike, I don't think Dan Mullen's going to get greedy, try to put more points on the board. I think what he'll do is run the ball, maybe a screener, a short pass, and see if a guy can pop a long one, get him up towards, the 40-yard line, up towards midfield. Then maybe you think of doing it. But if I'm Dan Mullen, I just run the ball here. You got to be satisfied with a 28-3 lead and take it to the house.
Go back to what you said a couple of minutes ago. It's a 28-3 game, but it's certainly, from South Alabama's perspective, feels a lot closer and could be if some of those big catches are made.
And should be.
Robinson gets the give. Pick up a 9 for the Bulldogs on first down. Clock under a minute.
Yeah, and you see the officials turn to Dan Mullen and ask if he's going to call a timeout. He's not gonna. Again, he's content with this lead and pretty happy with his ball club in this first half. And just as I say that, they stop the clock on the first down, of course.
One advantage we didn't touch on here on the other side of the ball, though, is for Mississippi State, they can go about 22, 25 deep on defense. They say they don't have starters, reserves, and that's an advantage that South Alabama, which has spent a good portion of this first half on defense, doesn't have.
Well, absolutely. And as good as this Mississippi State offense started clicking, it puts pressure on your defense. That South Alabama defense, as we talked about, you're going to get tired, you're going to wear down, and that's when big plays happen.
Changang's got a little bit of trouble here. So the clock stops with 27 seconds left.
Must have broken. This is the second game I've called where the chains look like they've broken. So maybe they'll shorten it by a link. So it'll be, just under 10 yards.
It's putting a lot of pressure there on that crew on the sidelines.
Well, one of the points of emphasis this year, stand back. They're calling flags on teams. So you got to give the chain crew some extra room over there as well.
Completion made, another first down for Dak Prescott ahead of Jamion Lewis. So 28 points here in the first half. First 2 games of the season, 96 points. That pass falls incomplete for the Bulldogs. The most they've scored in their first 2 games since 1914 when they put up 131 yards, and the competition was not quite the same.
And the one thing about South Alabama, their safeties will come up and hit you. That time, Montel Garner bringing it. Not intimidated at all. Playing very well. Actually, that was Terrell Brigham, I'm sorry, bringing the heat on that one.
Robert Johnson the catch, and that ends the half. 28-3, Mississippi State on the road in front of South Alabama. When we return, Dean Wiseman, Jamie Sire will be by for halftime. Mississippi State and South Alabama here at Ladd Peebles Stadium, getting set for the start of the second half. And right now a 25-point ball game. Got to give a lot of credit to the Bulldogs coming here on the road, their first road game of the season. And Dak Prescott has been great. He's been rushing, he's been throwing, he even caught a touchdown. Thanks for being with us, 𝐒𝐭𝐚, my cousins here in Mobile, Alabama. The key is for South Alabama, a couple of missed plays. This could be a lot closer game.
Yeah, a lot of drop passes. Their quarterback, Brandon Bridge, has thrown some good balls. Receivers just not making the big plays, and you need to make those big plays in games like this. Keep it tight. They let it get away from them a little bit in the first half.
And if you're just joining us, a lot of hype surrounding this game. 40,000. They sold every single ticket available for this stadium, as it's just the 5th time in the short history of this Jaguars program that they're taking on a Power 5 team.
A great crowd. The energy, the enthusiasm was excellent. South Alabama really didn't play that bad. It's just they didn't make a couple big plays that they should have made and kind of let it get away from them a bit here in the first half. We'll see what Coach Jones did in the halftime, see them regroup here and come out a different bunch.
Certainly a good traveling contingent by the Bulldogs. 3.5-hour trip that the team took by bus. Joey Jones, 6th-year head coach of this program, after coming over being the head coach of a D3 program, Birmingham Southern College in 06 and 07. Dan Mullen has dialed up everything right so far for his team. South Alabama won the toss. They deferred, so they kicked away to start the game, and now they receive here as we get the second half going. All the way into the stands, and a very strong kickoff there from Devin Bell. Look at the first half stats. Total yardage, not a huge disparity there, but Mississippi State doing a better job on 3rd down.
Oh, and you see the rushing yards for South Alabama, only 10. Yeah, they knew that was going to be an issue coming into this game, but you have to get some sort of running game, some sort of balance to get points on the board, and we've seen it, only 3 in the first half.
Our offensive coordinator, Robert Matthews, said, we know that the size advantage is there. We want to put it into the air. And we've got Jay Jones in the backfield with Brandon Bridge on a 1st down and 10 from the 25. Play fake. Bridge over the middle. Catch is made by Jeremy Jones. And a gain of 26.
And they've had success with that play. There's a softness in the middle of the field at about the 15-yard mark down the field by that Mississippi State secondary, and they've gotten some receivers in there. Jones the beneficiary right there. Nice catch and a good play on 1st down. Let's see if this can jumpstart South Alabama.
Throwing again, and nothing doing for Bridge. Swallowed up by Preston Smith.
And good pressure that time, getting the Bridge by 91, Preston Smith. The secondary was in a cover 4. They had 4 deep as South Alabama tried to go vertical with receivers. Not enough time to make the throw, and the coverage was very good in the secondary.
They go backwards 7 yards on that play. Long 2nd down. Pressure up the middle, and Bridge denied going that way. Looking downfield, and he's got Jeremy Jones again, right back near the 1st down marker. A way to make something out of what was originally nothing.
I thought Bridge was in trouble there. He steps up into the pocket. You're going to watch it. It's going to close on him. He's scanning. He's going to run. Runs into his big offensive lineman. Slides to the left. And look at the arm strength. Running to the left like that. Able to throw the ball back across his body to the middle of the field to Jeremy Jones. Usually, I would tell a quarterback, don't do that. But Bridges' arm is strong enough. Jones got open, and it's a huge 1st down for South Alabama.
Matt Wells, the senior linebacker, is going to come off the field. They'll have to be out for at least 1 play. This is a defensive unit that they are very proud of. There's no, as they say, 1A. Yeah. There's no backups and starters. There's 1A and 1B.
And you love that. You know, the coaches said, listen, guys compete in practice for reps in the game. I mean, that's what you're competing at. You know, 22 guys on a defensive unit. You know, only 11 can play at once, and they're fighting in practice to get reps during the game, and you love that type of challenge during your week of practice.
Last pickup was a first down into traffic. Javaris Smith makes the catch from Bridge.
And the one thing I would think you're going to see out of this Mississippi State defense, yes, they're going to try to get pressure on Bridge, but I will be shocked if a South Alabama receiver gets vertical and gets past one of their DBs. They'll probably give that underneath stuff, come up and make the hits, but I'm sure there was a talking to at halftime. Do not let them go vertical.
Motion along the line, and a flag comes in.
Ball start on the offense, number 75. 5-yard penalty, second down.
That's Clay Matchin at left tackle. Neither team all too heavily penalized in the first half.
Yeah, it's been a pretty clean game for the most part.
Total of 7 penalties in the first half, and 5 of those went against Mississippi State. Bridge, far sideline, hangs in the air, and it's incomplete. Jamerson Love with some elevation, trying to take that one away.
And that got time good coverage, just man on man. Jamerson Love turns with the receiver, runs, goes up and high points it. Nice job. Smith shows you he has some speed. He can get down that sideline, but Love says, I'm going to turn with you and I'm going to play the ball. Actually had it. He has to complete the catch when he came down to the ground. If he could have just held on to that, would have been an excellent interception. But nonetheless, a good pass defended.
So that stops the big play there. It's 3rd down and 9. They fake the handoff to Timmons, and Bridge is wrapped up by Bernardrick McKinney, the leader of the defense, the middle linebacker with the sack.
Yeah, and they call McKinney just a physical freak. Runs a 4.55 40, and Mike, he's got a 41-inch vertical leap. I mean, that's some crazy ups.
He's 6'5", 250 pounds, but he moves with the best of them.
And plays middle linebacker. I mean, that's a nose guard for a lot of Division I teams. That size.
South Alabama still unable to find the end zone. And Jamoral Graham waves for the fair catch and takes it at the 11-yard line. Crazy size, crazy speed of Bernardrick McKinney wraps it up. Back to Mobile, Alabama, 28-3 lead for the Bulldogs of Mississippi State, looking to improve to 3-0 here in their first road contest of the season. And they've got control here. It's Josh Robinson with some room to run, picks up a Bulldog first down, and up ahead across the 30-yard line. Let's take a look at the top 5 in FPI, Football Power Index, brought to you from ESPN through week 2. What do you see here?
Look at Auburn up there at number 1, Florida State at 4, and of course Texas A&M with their great performance early on, deserving of being in that 3rd spot.
Up the middle for Josh Robinson and a short pickup. It was Florida State, of course, in the number 1 spot preseason. They're all the way down to number 4.
We see Bob Stoops in Oklahoma at 5. We know what he thinks of the SEC. He always tells everyone. So listen, a lot of teams are going to see Mississippi State there at 18. Listen, they're in a good spot. They play in the toughest conference in the nation. You can get through that gauntlet, you're going to get to the championship playoff.
Josh Robinson gets the carry again. Up to the 44-yard line, enough for a first down. Carry at 10 for the junior.
And I would suspect we're going to see a lot of Josh Robinson. I thought we'd see more of him in the 2nd quarter. He's one of those backs that gets a little better as he gets going, get into that rhythm. And with a 28-3 lead, I really think Dan Mullen's going to want to try to run the rock here in the 2nd half.
And they go to the air here after the catch. And Fred Ross, the sophomore out of Tyler, Texas, Originally committed to Oklahoma State, and then surprise move, he flipped on signing day to go to the Bulldogs.
That's a little dig route there by Fred Ross, 12-yard dig, and really the run game sets that up. Once that defense has to pinch, it opens up those outside routes, and then Mississippi State can do whatever they want.
Out of the pocket, Prescott down the sideline. Jamion Lewis, first down and more. Inside the 20-yard line. Back at the beginning of this ball game, the decision was made presumably on Friday when Dan Mullen said, you know what, we're not going to flip Prescott and his backup Damian Williams in and out of the game. First full game of the season for Prescott, and he's looked very good.
Yeah, he's run this offense perfectly, and I like his decisions that he's been making.
Going for the back corner of the end zone, and he overthrows it, targeting Fred Brown.
And of course, once I say, yeah, they're going to run the ball in the second, I think they've thrown it 3 straight times. So that's why I'm sitting up here, and I don't get a paycheck as a coach.
And it's a 2nd down and 10. Here for the Bulldogs. Jamion Lewis has certainly had the big day receiving. Top of your screen, number 1, De'Runnya Wilson. One of their top wide receivers. Pitch out to Nick Griffin to the 10-yard line on the Mississippi State carry.
And that's a big back to get on the perimeter, all 226 pounds, and Nick Griffin on that option left. He gets a full head of steam. He brings some lumber.
They've rotated through healthy dosages today. Nick Griffin, Ashton Shumpert, Brandon Holloway. Behind the feature back, Josh Robinson.
And it's a nice luxury to have if you have 2, 3 guys you can put in the rotation and you feel like you don't really lose anything.
Man in motion, but Prescott keeps it. Not much room for the junior.
And they're going to be short here, so we'll see. First 4th down, we'll see what Dan Mullen does here. You know, big offensive line, you got to tell yourself, I got a 230-pound quarterback. I can get a yard. And I think they're going to go here.
He's got his eyes on the play call sheet. They've gone for it 5 times this year and converted twice.
Yeah, and I would look for that off tackle to the right with Prescott keeping the ball. It's a play they feel comfortable with, and it doesn't risk a handoff.
He does have Robinson with him in the backfield. And it is Robinson on the carry, enough to pick up the first down. First time either side's gone for it on 4th down today.
And just a good little zone read. Prescott sticks it in there. He's reading the defense. As they react, he reacts, gives the ball to Josh Robinson left side, and they pick up the first down.
Ball is loose in the carry by Robinson. Jaguar is excited about it. And it's South Alabama football. Darrell Brigham sticking his nose in there with Malik Harris.
And the one thing with South Alabama, you're going to see no quitting them. See Josh Robinson try to bounce it, and right there it gets knocked out by number 6, Malik Harris. Great job punching that ball out. And then it's just a rugby scrum in there. And South Alabama comes out with the ball. Good stop, keeping Mississippi State off the scoreboard.
Certainly a positive sign for the Jaguars. Down but not out. Plenty of football to go. This is a game they've been looking forward to for quite some time. They opened up their season last week with a win at Kent State. And one more look as Robinson has it slip free.
Yeah, I mean, and when you get down inside the red zone, you're obviously bending, but just don't break. So defensive coordinator Travis Pearson and head coach Joey Jones have to be happy with the defense stepping up.
Kendall Houston takes it up the middle. Interesting game for him, the senior from Mobile, who was at one time recruited by Mississippi State.
And one of those other big backs, 5'10", 230 pounds, likes to pound it inside the tackle, although he will bounce a few to the outside, but he's that bigger back, likes to run the ball in the middle.
Bridge with plenty of time. in and out of the hands of Jeremy Jones. And they have been plagued all day by balls that have hit receivers' hands and have gone incomplete.
Yeah, that would have been a tough catch for Jeremy Jones. Not one of Brandon Bridge's better throws. That time, Mississippi State dialed up a blitz. South Alabama picked it up. Jones runs a corner route. Bridge tries to drop it in the bucket, just can't connect. But again, Jones was loose. He got away from coverage there. So the one thing that I'm seeing out of Mississippi State's defense today, they're still letting receivers get loose vertical down the field. That time a corner route. So some stuff they need to clean up before they get into conference play.
At the feet of Xavier Johnson as Bridge was getting pushed toward the back of the end zone. And there was referee Matt Leffler to say there's no foul for intentional grounding on the play.
Yeah, I mean, although Bridge was in the pocket, he threw it at the feet of an eligible receiver, and that's what the official was letting you know. I mean, the pressure was barreling down on him. Had a receiver right off to the left, Xavier Johnson, throws it at his feet, totally legal, and the official let you know it.
Very short kick, Jamoral Graham. Wrapped up along the far sideline. Bulldogs with a big lead on the road in Mobile. SEC meets Sun Belt, and right now it's 28-3. Mississippi State with a hefty advantage over South Alabama. Get your NFL Sunday started on ESPN at 10 a.m. On ESPN, it's Sunday NFL Countdown presented by Snickers. Chris Berman and the gang provide all the latest news and updates from stadiums around the league right up until kickoff. And before you set your lineups, catch our experts as they provide the latest new injury reports and predict top performers on fantasy football now, presented by Papa John's at 11 a.m. on ESPN2. You can catch those on Watch ESPN as well.
Got to get your lineup set, Mike.
Always. I may be out of it after week one.
That's why I don't play, because I'm always out of it.
Dak Prescott takes off. He's got room to run, and he is going to go all the way. 40 yards out, and Prescott was nearly untouched.
And I don't believe that was a called quarterback draw. Slight little slide to the left. Pocket opened up in front of him, nothing but green grass. South Alabama covers zero. They were man all over the field. Prescott recognized that. Off to the races. Nice little cutback when he got towards the goal line. And just like that, this game is getting away with it.
What a weapon he provides. Came into this ball game as the SEC's active leader in rushing touchdowns with 18. He tacks on another one.
Yeah, he's going to slide a little, and then all of a sudden it's going to open up. The defenders are all in man coverage, and he just takes it. I mean, it's just smart football. You see him little slide, then he steps up, and nothing but green in front of him. By the time that the D-backs realize he's coming, they turn around, he catches a little block, cut back to the right, and he's gone. As I said, not a called quarterback draw. Dak Prescott made that with his eyes, his athletic ability.
Of course, what Mississippi State fans want to know is, well, how does Prescott compare to Bo Wallace over at Ole Miss? Well, he came in with the rushing lead of 4 more than Bo Wallace, but Ole Miss right now is having themselves a great game, up 49-6 over Louisiana Lafayette.
But has Wallace thrown him or run him in?
Through the air, he's got 4 touchdowns.
Yeah. Both of these guys are really the class of the SEC. 2 great quarterbacks, both Bo Wallace at Ole Miss and Dak Prescott here at Mississippi State. And of course, one of the best rivalries in college football as well.
No rushing touchdowns for Bo Wallace today. So now 5 more for Prescott.
Well, and think about Dak Prescott today. Touchdowns on the ground running, touchdowns passing in the air, and touchdowns receiving.
Right.
It's
it's a trifecta today.
Got the hat trick.
That's another nice kickoff there. from Devin Bell. Second time he's landed it into the stands.
You know, talking about Prescott, you know, that little lateral where he caught the pass and the big lineman got it. Could be a Sports Center top 10. Good looking play. Never know.
Don't know if Jamion Lewis woke up today thinking, yeah, I'm going to throw a 24-yard touchdown pass to my quarterback. They called him the dark horse Heisman candidate before the year. These are the types of games you got to have to get on that radar.
Correct. You got to put those numbers up. And then when you get into conference, you got to do some good stuff too. And you get noticed quickly when you put numbers up like this coming out of the SEC.
On first down and 10, Bridge throwing. And Wes Saxton has the catch, but nothing further for the tight end from Hueytown, Alabama.
And this is where South Alabama has to just try to get something going. Listen, you know, their season hasn't really begun in terms of conference play. This is a good South Alabama team. They could do some damage in the Sun Belt Conference, if not win it. And their goal is obviously to win their conference and go to a bowl game. So, got to get positive stuff. You're still playing a good team here. Keep fighting.
Blitz comes from the corner as Bridge still gets it off. And it's tipped and falls incomplete. Tevez Calhoun got his hand on it, but credit to Bridge, who was facing pressure from all sides.
Yeah, he took a shot there. Again, Mississippi State dials up pressure. They come at him. You're going to see from the right side of your screen and the left side of the screen.
It's like the trash compactor in Star Wars.
And Bridge did a good job getting that pass out there. Receiver just couldn't get up and make a play. A good job to avoid the sack. But, you know, when you're used to being protected and you're clean in the pocket, and all of a sudden they get to you, they start tapping you, hitting you, you're on your butt, you're getting up. Makes for a long day for a quarterback.
Well, he's gotten some help, too, whenever he returns to the sideline. And assuredly, after they watch the tape of this game, Ross Matheny, who he backed up last year, is now a graduate assistant with the Jaguars. And they use their timeout. So first called timeout here in the half, 6:33 to go in the third. And Joey Jones is doing something, you know, in week one, I got to watch UTSA and what Larry Coker has done there. They went on the road to Houston, picked up a big win. And this is a similar type of big game. It's a 32-point game, but that can help build a program and raise awareness in a state like this here in Alabama for a program that is not one of the top tier programs yet.
And as an FBS school, incredibly young is South Alabama, but you know, they're doing everything right. They have a game plan, and I'm telling you, they've really had good success.
So when you're trying to build a program, what are some of the keys, the cornerstones that you've got to work with?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing is a foundation. You have to have a rock-solid foundation. And where does that start? With your hire. You got to have a good head coach. You got to have a head coach that comes in with a plan and can build the program. Not someone that just, it's got to be a destination, not a stepping stone. And I think Joey Jones has a good foundation. Facilities, we toured them. Excellent facilities, a good stadium. South Alabama, check, has that. So those are the two most important things. And then recruiting, we talked about that. They're in a good area down south.
You might say a very fertile recruiting area. Marvin Shin, the Alabama transfer, makes the catch. And that leads right into the next point is you got to recruit, but you also got to take the guys who are not at the big schools anymore. Get those junior college guys. Get those high-level Division I.
And they're doing it, but as you said, surrounded by good recruits. And, of course, then you need the support of the community and the university, and South Alabama has that. So all four of those checkpoints they have hit.
Ball dropped. Christian Holmes got his hands on it. He's listed, we can't say backup linebacker. He's second on the depth chart behind Beniquez Brown. They go 1A and 1B for Mississippi State.
And again, getting to Bridge. They can throw the ball just a tad quicker than he wanted to as the linebacker Holmes undercuts it.
4 down lineman for Mississippi State. Early motion, a false start is the initial call.
But now if the defensive lineman caused the offensive lineman to move, it'll be on them, and it is.
Jumped in the neutral zone, causing a reaction. 5-yard penalty, second down.
And that's the sophomore A.J. Jefferson.
And I like that tweak. We've seen that the last couple of years. You know, how many times the defender would hop up like he's going to go, the tackle or the guard moves, and it's always on the offense. This time now, if the defense goes and the offense reacts to him, the penalty's on the defense, and that was the right call there.
Pressure comes, 2nd down and 5. Saxton, the tight end, tries to shake off a couple tackles, but he does get forward progress up to the 44-yard line.
But the one thing Wes Saxton has to understand, he was right on the 1st down marker when he makes that catch. Fall forward, make sure you secure the 1st down. He tried to go back to make something happen. He gets tackled a yard, 2 yards short of that 1st down. Now a big 3rd down for South Alabama, try to keep this drive alive.
Saxton, a first-team preseason All-Sun Belt player, also on the Mackey Award watch list for the nation's top tight end. Jay Jones, 1st down yardage, and finally stopped up at the 50-yard line.
And that's the first time we saw the pistol formation, pistol set out of South Alabama, with Bridge still in the shotgun. Jay Jones, the running back, behind him. It's a little lead handoff, good blocking up front by that South Alabama squad to pick up that 1st down.
Back to Jones, and a loss of 1 yard on the play. Orlando Cleveland coming in from his cornerback spot to take down Jones, the transfer from Northwest Mississippi Community College.
Yeah, and you saw the speed of Cleveland from that corner position. Once he saw the play, he reacted to it, just came down the line like a bullet, tackling Jones for a loss.
Bridge gets away from the initial pressure and gives himself up at the 44-yard line, and a gain of 6. On a day where his offensive line is certainly undersized in this game, he has stood in the pocket extremely well, and when the play hasn't been there, has tried to make it with his feet.
Yeah, well, he doesn't have happy feet. He's a good quarterback. He will stay in the pocket and make the throw, but when he needs to run and has to run, he does. I'm very impressed with Brandon Bridge.
And he throws out to Jeremy Jones, who's been far and away his leading target today. That should be enough for a 1st down.
And of course, the zip on Brandon Bridge's throws, pretty nice as well. And let's also remember, Mike, we talked about it. South Alabama plays in the Sun Belt. They're not going to face a defensive front or a team close to this. Not even close to this. So this is a good game for them. Good experience, and you know, it's going to help them along the way in the Sun Belt.
Bridge, does he have enough speed? He does to get around the corner. And he goes from the 39-yard line all the way down, it looks like, to the 18 for a gain of 21. So there he had to outrun the entire defensive line.
Well, you know, Bridge is from Ontario, Canada. I asked him if he could skate. He skates around the corner on this one. Thought he was going to get knocked out of bounds. Just enough speed to beat the big D lineman, turn the corner, and pick up the 1st down.
Taking the sortie, the exit to the sideline. Speaks French as well. Bridge went to a French school where he was taught exclusively in French through 8th grade. Through 3 defenders, lucky to have that ball end up on the ground.
And the free safety, Cox, just reading his eyes. I said it earlier in the game. Sometimes Brandon Bridge will lock in on one receiver, and when you do that, you're not watching the safeties. That time, the safety undercut that Coleman and almost intercepted it.
After the pass into traffic, now 2nd down and 10. And a timeout taken by Mississippi State. South Alabama on the move, looking to reach the end zone for the first time. Their drive continues on the other side. Peebles Stadium, Mobile, Alabama, with UMass Hall of Famer Rini Ngolia, Mike Cousins. And the drive now continues for the Jaguars of South Alabama. 2nd down and 10 with the ball on the 18-yard line. Bridge hit as he throws. That ball is loose toward the far sideline and recovered by Mississippi State. Bridge is down.
And it was was McKinney who picked this up. The referee calls it a fumble. You saw the beanbag go in. Yeah, and I don't believe the arm was going forward at all. And you see the hit. Brandon Bridge takes sandwich between a couple defenders. Good job by McKinney, and that was Preston Smith, 91, that really laid the lick on Brandon Bridge.
Well, McKinney, a force to be reckoned with. They say the leader of this defense, and Preston Smith, who made that initial contact, he's back-to-back SEC Defensive Lineman of the Week.
Yeah, 2 interceptions already on the air for a 6'6", 270-pound defensive end. Pretty good.
So Bridge, to his credit, all afternoon has stayed in the pocket. Takes a big hit right there. They hand the ball off to Nick Griffin as Mississippi State takes over, and they go across the 40-yard line. Now the question is here, I think, 3 minutes left third quarter. How much longer do we see Dak Prescott out on the field?
I think you'll definitely see him obviously through this third quarter, and they may go with Damien Williams in the fourth with the big lead.
It's Griffin again.
And again, no quarterback rotation. Obviously, Dan Mullen told us his thought process there, but you still want to get Damien Williams, your backup, work. So in a lead like this, you get into the fourth quarter, you still get him a quarter of game play. You know, the speed is always different in a game than it is in practice.
Third down, a yard to go. Griffin in the backfield with Prescott. Griffin the carry. And the USA defensive line does not budge very much. They might have about 6 inches left before the marker.
Yeah, an excellent job by that defensive line. I mean, Nick Griffin, 230-pound back coming at you, lowering his shoulders, and he can't move it for a yard.
So now 4th down and inches to go, and they're going to bring on the punt team. So TJ Glover is back deep, the senior. All the way down and into the end zone for a touchback. A little bit too strong from Devin Bell. Still plenty more college football coming your way on ABC tonight, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific. Butch Jones, Tennessee. They look for the upset on the road against senior quarterback Trevor Knight and the number 4 ranked Oklahoma Sooners. Saturday Night Football presented by Wells Fargo. Tennessee, Oklahoma, 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ABC. First time they've played since the 1968 Orange Bowl. That was a Sooners win. This is a young Tennessee team, Rainey, but you said you like them.
I do. He's done a great job recruiting. He's got the talent in there. Now he's got to coach him up and start winning some big games like that. If they could knock off an Oklahoma, that'd be a huge, huge win for Tennessee.
Number 11, Matt Floyd, is into the game at quarterback here for the Jags, and a carry on his first play. So we saw Brandon Bridge go down, a fumble on his last play, and now getting some medical attention along the sidelines. Standing, which is great to see, but the look on his face is quite a lot.
Well, he's been beaten up today. He's taken a lot of shots, but he's stayed in there. He's made a lot of nice throws today, a lot of good completions. But it's tough going up against an SEC defense, especially an SEC West defense that keeps coming and coming and coming. So I think it's smart, Coach Jones, get him out of there. Rest him up. As I said, you got the conference ahead of you. But, you know, overall, I was impressed with Brandon Bridge today.
Well, Bridge, he stood in, he stood tall, he made good throws, but his receivers did not always help him out.
Well, this was the first series of the game. They could have had it 1st and goal, and it's a drop there by Garrett. Again, another quick strike and another drop there by his receiver, Smith. And a third one. Boy, right down the seam, it was Smith again, right through his arms. Really, Brandon Bridge could not throw that ball any better. And those are the plays we talked about early in the game. You have to make plays like that if you want to stay close to a good team like Mississippi State, and they just haven't been able to make those plays today.
injury timeout as Richie Brown, the linebacker from Long Beach, Mississippi, went down along the sidelines, so he'll come off the field. And after the rush, 2nd down and 10. That one drops to the ground over the middle, looking for Cameron Broadnax. Matt Floyd, a junior at 6'2", 205 pounds, out of Milton, Florida, takes over the reins for the Jaguars.
Yeah, good zip on that ball by Matt Floyd. One that Broadnax probably should have caught.
Thought we'd see a quarterback rotation on the other side before we saw the backup for South Alabama enter the game. 3rd down, 10 to go, deep in their own territory. Catch is made and the clock continues to run. That pickup shy of the 1st down marker. Danny Woodson there to make the catch.
And that's another thing. If you're Woodson, boy, you got to run that route 2 yards deeper, so if the throw brings you back, you make the catch past that 1st down marker. He broke it off too soon, so when he came back to the ball, he was a yard and a half short, and they're going to have to punt.
So that first drive is a quick one for Floyd, the transfer from the University of South Florida.
Nice throw there on that out pattern, though.
Punt from Brandon McKee and a fair catch called for. And that brings us to the end of the 3rd quarter. 35-3, a powerful statement for this SEC squad this afternoon. Mississippi State to a 3-0 start here in the 2014 season. Right now well on their way. It'll be their first 3-0 start since 2012. Just the 2nd time that this school has done that since 1999. So it's Prescott, 201 through the air, 132 yards on the ground. This one might be coming back as a flag was thrown from behind the play.
On the offense, number 77. Penalty remains 1st down.
That goes against Rufus Warren, the backup right tackle.
We talked about Mississippi State getting out to a 3-0 start, and obviously that's imperative, especially when you're in the SEC West. So you need to win the games you're supposed to win, get into the season, knock off a few teams that maybe people don't think you're gonna, and that's how you have a special year.
First and 20 after the penalty. Ashton Shumpert gets the carry, and you're right. Coming up after this part, it almost seems like Mullen, especially with his quarterback rotation in the first couple games, shut out of Southern Miss, and then a win last week against UAB. Almost looked at it as preseason, flip-flopping back and forth between Dak Prescott and then Damian Williams, and the schedule gets a lot tougher here on out.
That's a good point. We've talked to some Division I coaches that said, yeah, we don't have any preseason games. These early games essentially are. That's when we find out who our team is.
Shumpert once again, bowled to the ground at the 28.
And, and the bottom line is, you find out who your team is, you get going, you get into conference, and you gel and peak at the right time. And listen, Mississippi State's goals, like the other big programs, get to the college football playoff, get to that Final Four, and win a national championship.
3rd down, 16 for Prescott and the Bulldogs. Next 3 games, they go on the road, LSU, then Texas A&M, and then Auburn. 3 in a row.
Pretty tough.
Prescott on his feet. Has been money all day that way. Another 1st down. Now the question is, you're up by 32.
Yeah, I know it's coming. Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing.
Damian Williams is on the sideline. They've been getting him reps for the first 2 weeks. How long do you leave Prescott in the game? And
you take him out right now.
We've answered the question. They said, hey, he's not running the football anymore.
Yeah. Well, I think Dan Mullen saw that nice run by Dak Prescott, and he got hit downfield, and he said, you know what, okay, he's out, let's go. Good game, rest up, and let's get Damian Williams some reps here.
Williams, the sophomore out of Metairie, Louisiana. And flags quickly after the quarterback substitution.
On the offense, number 62, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's always a tough thing, though, as a backup quarterback. 2 minutes ago, he had a headset on. He was standing on the sideline, not throwing a ball. And next thing you know, boom, you're in the game. So we'll see if Damian Williams is loose or not.
Well, it's not as though he doesn't have significant experience. He scored a game-winning touchdown against Arkansas last year. That was crucial for this team to ending up being bowl eligible. They went on to the Liberty Bowl and handily beat Rice 44-7. Williams with his Dak Prescott impersonation.
And again, it was really the Dak Prescott show today. Starting off, nice touchdown pass to Malcolm Johnson, his big tight end. Here, little flea flicker throwback. Nice pass by Jamian Lewis, the receiver. Prescott gets those big offensive linemen out in front of him with a convoy to the end zone. And here, just reads and recognizes the green grass. 40-yard touchdown run for Dak Prescott to cap off a great day.
Last year, Tyler Russell was in the quarterback rotation as well. So Prescott started 7 games last year. Williams, though, when both of those guys were injured, ended up getting 1 start in the Egg Bowl against Ole Miss, a game that Prescott came in the 4th quarter and helped them pick up a win. But they get him to the sideline. They're happy he's healthy.
And you see his big center, 63, Dylan Day, standing next to him, too. Very good game out of him today in that offensive line of Mississippi State.
Prescott finishes with 137 rushing yards. Williams says, I'm going to do the same thing.
Yeah, and Williams a good-sized quarterback as well, 225-pound frame, 6'1". Dynamic athlete as well when he runs the football. And I love it. You see Coach Dan Mullen coaching him up right there, talking to him, and that's what great coaches do. Up 35-3, you're still teaching, you're still coaching, and that's how you become a better ball club.
So against the offensive second stringers, the Jaguars force a punt. And that'll roll down inside the 12-yard line. South Alabama with the ball when we come back.
You guys.
The all-new chase begins in Chicago. Jimmy Johnson is the defending champ, winning last year's title to become a 6-time winner. The Challenger round, 16 nations battle, 12 events, and the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Support your nation with hashtag MyChaseNation. The myafibstory.com 400 at Chicagoland tomorrow 1 on ESPN and also live on Watch ESPN.
Nice little screen pass there. Terrence Timmons catches some blocks on the perimeter. Tries to cut back right here, and sometimes with that field turf, just gives up on. You saw those little black pellets pop up. That's crushed rubber, in case you're wondering what that is at home.
Pass goes to Broadnax. Not much room for him to run with. So now under 10 minutes to go here as Mississippi State looks set to improve to 3-0 going on the road. It's a momentous game just alone for this venue. First time in 46 years that an SEC school has played here at Lad Peoples Stadium. It's home to the Reese's Senior Bowl and the GoDaddy Bowl.
And we heard the announced crowd, over 38,000, first sellout in South Alabama history.
Word around campus was that there were people coming out for this game who normally wouldn't even come to a football game, but because of the opponent, certainly provided a marquee reason to come out to the stadium today. Carry goes to Kendall Houston, the senior from right here in Mobile.
And again, Coach Joey Jones wants to see execution out of his offensive unit. Doesn't matter if Brandon Bridge is in there or not, Matt Floyd's in there. Wants to see things, because you can always build on positive things in those film sessions. They will break this film down tomorrow, move on to their next opponent, but you want to do positive things to end games. You don't want to get sloppy.
And last week, their game got pretty close against Kent State. It was 16-13 late in the game. They came back, got a late touchdown, ended up winning 23-13. So you're certainly well out of it scoreboard-wise here, but it's how they finish the game that they're probably going to go back and watch.
Absolutely. Listen, the eye in the sky never lies. You know, the coaches from all programs, all the position coaches, they break down every player, every single play individually, even plays that you're away from the ball. You're getting graded on.
Floyd throwing, and Jeremy Jones bobbles it and loses it.
Well, I mean, Floyd needs to feel a little bit what Brandon Bridge did with all those drops. There's another one low and away, but that's one I think even if you ask Jeremy Jones, he'll say, I got to catch that ball.
Floyd spent 3 years playing with the Bulls down in Tampa. Played in 8 games there. And probably didn't expect to take the field today.
Well, and I was going to say, and these are valuable reps from him, too. It's always important to get that backup quarterback live game reps, and he's getting them.
One missed tackle and some room to run as Marvin Shin takes off and gets ahead to the 35-yard line.
And I tell you, one thing that won't make Dan Mullen happy, or defensive coordinator Jeff Collins, and I don't care if you have backups in there from Mississippi State, is giving up a late, long touchdown play. They did it last week against UAB, gave up a late score on a big pass play, and those are things they need to clean up before they start their conference play.
Floyd corrals, heaves, and it's too strong. Talk about conference play in the Sun Belt. Number 1 in the preseason Coaches Bowl, Louisiana Lafayette. Number 2, Louisiana Monroe. And then number 3, South Alabama, just in their second year of bowl eligibility.
Which is, you know, all the credit to Joey Jones. I mean, this team's athletic and they can play. They can compete in that Sun Belt conference. And Sun Belt is an improved conference. There's no doubt about it. You know, the MAC as a non-Power 5 always, you know, gets a lot of recognition because they knock off a lot of schools. But we just talked about South Alabama went up there and beat a decent Kent State team to get a good road win to start the season.
Now on second down, oh boy. No one has been immune. This time, Danny Woodson.
Yeah. And again, a good throw by Matt Floyd. Deep out to Woodson, would have had the first down just right through his hands. So that is something in film room that they're going to talk about, because you know you can't ever drop balls like that, but especially when you're going up against a formidable opponent like Mississippi State, you've got to make those plays.
You said it early on when the score was significantly closer. If you're looking for that big type of upset, you've got to make those big plays, and even some of them like that have just been simple ones.
Yeah, and they have not had that big play today, but they've had 2 or 3 opportunities down the field where balls were just flat out dropped.
Today was day 2, at least in the early games, as far as college football goes. Upsets, not uncommon.
Yeah.
ECU goes into Lane Stadium in Blacksburg, picks up a 28-21 win over Virginia Tech. A little bit of a hangover after the win at Ohio State last week. Shane Carden with a nice day. Quarterback for ECU. Need a good pickup here, and it's a turnover on downs for South Alabama. So Mississippi State takes over after a defensive stand here in Mobile.
I am so nervous right now, it's not even funny, dude. Oh my God.
State with 7:14 to play in the 4th quarter. Dan Mullen and the Bulldogs led by Dak Prescott. 362 yards from him today, and it's a long line of talented quarterbacks that Mullen has worked with.
Oh, right there, Alex Smith from his Utah days, and excellent college quarterback on to the pros, and of course Tim Tebow, and who's that on the left?
Cam
Newton in the Florida jersey before his Auburn days.
How about Tim Tebow now? SEC Network is going to be on Good Morning America, Motivation Monday. Football or not, he continues to soar.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what happens with Tim. There's no doubt he still wants to play quarterback. I think that That chapter of the book's been shut, though.
But Prescott, though, running the ball, throwing the ball, he's certainly got the size like Tebow does. And today, just an extremely productive afternoon for him.
Well, and you talked about Dan Mullen being very cautious of comparing Prescott to Tebow, but the one thing he did say is Prescott has those type of leadership qualities that Tim Tebow had, which is a great thing.
He said he could throw the ball. Alex Smith was more of a pocket guy as they're running.
He compared him to Josh Harris, too, former Bowling Green quarterback. Yeah.
And they stay on the ground here. Now 6.5 minutes to go, fourth quarter. So the question now for Mississippi State is, as they get set for SEC play, in the SEC West preseason, it was picked for Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Ole Miss, and then Mississippi State. Are they better than third to last in their division?
I tell you, it's a gauntlet. Not only is the SEC the toughest conference in the nation, they're in SEC West, the toughest part of the SEC. You know, how good can they be? Here's the great part of with being in this conference and that schedule. They're going to play all the good teams. So if they can knock some of those teams up, I mean, you're going to play LSU. You're going to play them all. So you can step up. You've done what you had to do. You won the 3 games opening the season. Now conference play starts and it gets serious. And bottom line is, much like South Alabama looked at this game, hey, no more moral victories against big schools, we want to win it. Same thing with Mississippi State. They don't want to hang with Alabama or LSU, Auburn. They want to win those games. And they have the talent to do it. Whether they do it, it's another question.
Their road games in conference at Kentucky, at Alabama, and at Ole Miss. 5:10 to play from Mobile, Alabama. Mississippi State out in front over South Alabama. First year of the college football playoff. 2 semifinals. That'll be the Rose Bowl and the Sugar Bowl. Those are going to rotate. So 15-16, it'll be the Orange Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, and then the Peach and Fiesta. They'll go back through leading up to January 12th, the national championship game. And lots of discussion. I think every week, of course, it changes, Rennie, of who could be those 4 teams that are going to be playing for a national title.
You see all the analysts, you know, everyone's picking their first 4 in, next 4 in. And the great thing about the college football playoff in the 4 teams, it's fluid. Every week it's going to change. Someone could get knocked off. They're going to bounce out of the 4, move back in. And I love that about this college football playoff.
Handoff for a couple on 2nd down and 4 for the Jaguars. I think perhaps very important here is that it's the best 4 teams, not necessarily the most deserving teams. As we said, they're going to rotate through the Orange, Cotton, and Peach and Fiesta Bowls. It's a 13-member committee. The first rankings they release are going to be October 28th, and they'll meet each Monday and Tuesday down in Dallas to decide those rankings. What do you think is going to be, or are going to be, the most important factors that they look at each
Well,
week?
I think, you know, the eye test, obviously, you know, the big thing for the committee is they have to sit down and watch a lot of football. They have to watch the games. Strength of schedule, to me, is always a huge thing. You know, and really, as we move forward in this playoff, I think the way program schedule is going to change. I think that, you know, you still might get a cupcake here or there, but I tell you what, you know, you got to schedule tough teams. And I think everyone's sitting back to see this first year what's going to happen with the committee.
Flynn goes long on 1st down and 10. And now the SEC, starting in 2016, makes a new requirement for its teams that each school has to schedule 1 Power 5 non-conference
which I think is great. And you hit on it, too. And the committee, when Jeff Long, the chairman of the committee, talked to us at ESPN earlier this year, he said and repeated it, it's not necessarily the most deserving team, and you said it, it's the best team. Translation, you could be an undefeated team from a non-Power 5 conference, and you're probably not going to go over, let's say, a 1-loss team from the SEC.
I think a lot of people would look at, let's say, after the Thursday night game, BYU is a team that certainly has a very good chance to go undefeated because of its schedule, but it's not the strongest schedule.
And Marshall's another one of those schools that people think are going to go undefeated, but you just can't take that strength of schedule, or I should say lack of strength of schedule, and put it up against, you know, a 1-loss Big 12 or one-loss SEC. It just can't happen. And that's why I love the committee. They're going to sit there and sort all this stuff out. And they're also responsible, the committee is, to place the other major bowls, not just seed the 4 playoff teams.
And of course, all of the college football playoff games will be available on ESPN. You talk about one-loss teams right now. Best game of the day, perhaps the only one between 2 ranked teams, Georgia, South Carolina, 3rd quarter, and Carolina is up 24-13.
And Georgia's one of my first 4 in right now. I told you, it's fluid. If they lose to South Carolina, I would bump them out and probably move Oklahoma in to the first 4. But that's what's so great about it. It's going to change every week, and it's going to be really exciting leading all the way up to the playoff and the national championship.
That moves the chains on first down. Under 3 minutes to go here at Ladd Peoples Stadium. So you got the Bulldogs. Who's your other 3 on your first 4 in?
Florida State, in no particular order. Florida State, Georgia, Alabama, and Oregon right now. Those are my first 4 in. But it's fluid, so we'll see what happens. As I said, if Georgia loses, I would pop them out. You know, Oklahoma was my 4B or 5 that I would move back into the first 4 in.
Another near interception. And Alabama right now on top of Southern Miss, 14-3.
Now they gave up 3 to Southern Miss, though.
So that means by the transitive property, Mississippi State fans are saying, well, we're better than Alabama. We shut out Southern Miss.
Yeah, right? Yeah, you know, again, long season, fluid, lots going to happen. But the thing I love about the 14 playoff, because, you know, everyone complains about something. Why isn't it 8 teams? Why isn't it 16? 4's good, okay? And it doesn't hamper the rest of the bowls because, you know, I'm an old-timer. I love the bowl games. I think it's great.
It's a great time for sports.
They get ratings. People watch them. They love, you know, people, why are we watching a 6 and 16? People like to watch football, especially around the holidays. It's just, it's great time of year.
Feels like what you should be doing. And the defense comes up with yet another takeaway. Lando Cleveland with the interception. Plenty of room to run. Finally taken down to the 40-yard line. Huge return, nearly 40 on the interception by Cleveland, the sophomore out of Powder Springs, Georgia. 35-3, Bulldogs a few minutes away from 3-0. A shot of downtown Mobile. They call it the Azalea City. No word on Iggy's whereabouts. 35-3, Mississippi State over South Alabama with 2:13 to play here in the 4th quarter. There's an interception and a return of 45 yards by Lando Cleveland, the quarterback for the Bulldogs. And it's Damian Williams in the ballgame at quarterback. And off goes to Brandon Holloway. ESPN brings you college football primetime presented by Hampton Hotels. Cody Kessler, number 9 USC against Steve Addazio and Boston College. They go bi-coastal, USC and BC tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Also available live on Watch ESPN. How about this for New Hampshire? Boston College offensive coordinator Ryan Day is from Manchester, New Hampshire. And of course, Dan Mullen, the head coach of Mississippi State, born in Philadelphia or in Pennsylvania, but grew up in New Hampshire. So the New Hampshire Mafia,
breeding coaches up there.
Yeah, and college football is growing strong. And don't forget about Chip Kelly as well. Eagles and Colts on Monday Night Football on ESPN. You're up by 32. How about a smile?
I was smiling earlier in the game. Listen, I think Dan Mullen has to be happy. This was a raucous atmosphere coming in here. First sellout in school history. And it was their first road game of the year. Wanted to see how his team was going to come out and play, and I think he's got to be happy both offensively and defensively. Still, I think some holes in that pass defense. South Alabama got some receivers free, just a lot of drops from them. So they still have a little stuff to clean up. But all in all, I think Dan Mullen's got to be pretty pleased with his win today.
Williams scampers for a couple. You're right, Reedy, because the big plays last week against UAB, they gave up some huge plays that they were not happy about. But they said, look, it was sometimes a missed coverage, sometimes a cover zero or a missed interception that led to those big plays. And today, they got away with them again, but that's still an area of concern. And this is Holloway, who has the carry once again. So Mississippi State now goes 4 straight games with more than 500 yards of offense. That goes back to their Liberty Bowl win against Rice. They go on the road for the first time this year and successful as they keep the Jaguars out of the end zone.
Well, and no doubt, you talked about it earlier, you know, Dak Prescott is one of those dark horse Heisman type guys. He's putting up those numbers, throws for a touchdown today, catches a touchdown, and he runs for touchdowns. Doing it all is Dak Prescott.
35-3, and Mississippi State is now 3-0. LSU awaits no easy task, and University of South Alabama Jaguars fall to 1-1 as they host their first ever SEC opponent. Beautiful day in Mobile, and the Bulldogs happy as they take the 3.5-hour bus ride home. Once again, the final score, Mississippi State 35.